we see so many clients come in that have made investments that they wish they didn't or they don't totally understand. And so Kathi and I feel really strongly that education is the key.
Welcome to Money Talk with Terry and Kathi, brought to you by the Spectrum Financial Group, serving individual investors and retirees. Welcome back to Money Talk. I'm David Wolf, joined on this episode by Kathi Rieger. She has been working with seniors and retirees around the issues of Medicare and Medicaid for more than 10 years. And of course, she's a resident of New Mexico since 1991. Kathi's mission is to ease people in this transition, this idea of moving from one stage of life to another, and to really make that experience a happy one and make their retirements healthy, and do that with education and compassion, which is what this whole podcast series is about here on Money Talk. Kathi, welcome to the program.
Thank you, David. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to open up a very large can of worms here, otherwise known as the subject that you are an expert in, and that's Medicare, which I completely know nothing about, which is perfect for our audience, many of whom also know very little or want to know more. Let's put it like that. So it's great to have you with us. Okay, so someone is working or they're going through their life. When and how does one start to think about and then ultimately get Medicare?
Great question. And I have a lot of people ask me this question on a regular basis. And it's going to depend on actually two things. If you want to continue working or if you don't, and if you are taking Social Security or you're not. And I'll start with Social Security. If you elect to get your Social Security, you can do that, starting at 62 if you choose. If you are getting your Social Security, Medicare will reach out to you and say, hey, it's getting time. Usually that occurs about 4 months before your birthday. If you are not collecting Social Security, it's up to you to reach out to Medicare. A lot of folks don't know that. They think it happens automatically. It doesn't.
Wow. So the idea here is that you have to be in the Social Security system and be getting Social Security in order for Medicare to reach out to you a few months in front of your birthday.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. If you elect to wait on getting your Social Security, then you'll have to reach out to Medicare. And normally, I see folks receiving paperwork from Medicare usually within those 3 or 4 months prior to their birthday. And you'll get something in the mail prompting you to consider, hey, it's time. And you can enroll in Medicare online, ssa.gov. You can do that. You can phone Social Security. And let me just make a quick comment on that. You start your Medicare through Social Security. You don't start your Medicare through Medicare. It all starts with Social Security, and then it migrates over to Medicare.
Wow. So that's really important to know. So you're going to be talking to the Social Security Administration, and they will move you into the Medicare program. That's where it's administrated. That's fascinating.
It is, because most folks think, okay, I need to get Medicare, I'm going to call Medicare. Nope. When it's time to get Medicare, you call Social Security.
Okay, that's really important.
It is.
Anything else to say? Oh, well, we were going to talk also about the condition of if you're working, but if you haven't finished this first piece, please.
Right. Okay, so working. If you elect to keep working, you can definitely do so. You can postpone getting part of your Medicare. Normally, folks will elect to start their Part A and postpone their Part B while they're still working. And they can do that pretty easily. Medicare doesn't mind if you postpone your Part B. As long as you have employer coverage, you can postpone your Part B. And that's the parts of Medicare. And I'd like to speak to that too, David, because that's got a lot of people really concerned because they don't know what Medicare does.
Well, you're telegraphing exactly my next question. And you mentioned a Part A and B. I'm guessing you'll fold that into this answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely. So
all right.
When you get your Medicare, they have really 3 parts. Part A, which is your hospitalization, and Part B, which is your doctors, physical therapists, and so on, and then your Part D for drugs. So to qualify for Part A to not have to pay a premium for it, you have to work 10 quarters. I'm sorry, 40 quarters or 10 years. By doing so, you've paid into the system long enough so that premium for Part A is basically paid for. There's no cost.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's are there limits on the hospitalization? Sorry to interrupt.
Limits on hospitalization, there are day limits. There are also days in the hospital limits. I think you're allowed 190 days in the hospital of coverage.
Okay.
Okay.
So you need to know what your limits are. Okay.
You do. And that's what I help people do. We go over this deep dive in detail to make sure that they understand what Medicare does and doesn't do for them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kathi. And then Part B is what it sounds like, right? It's the paying for visits to a physician, a doctor, a specialist.
Exactly. And Part B has a premium. This year in 2018, that premium is $134 a month. And Social Security will take that right out of your Social Security check. But if you're still working and you decide to postpone your Part B, you would not pay that premium.
Makes sense.
Right. So you just pay for your employer insurance. Why would you want to pay for employer insurance and Part B at the same time? You're going to have extra coverage you're not really going to use.
Right, because most employers are going to give you the Part B functionality in their corporate policy, their employment policy. So that's how that works together. But the hospitalization you'd want to pick up while you're still working. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you did get it right because you're not going to pay a premium for it. So you might as well go ahead and turn it on.
Oh, yeah, there it
Wouldn't
is.
hurt.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Take it. Okay, because you paid in enough. You've worked enough quarters to make that work. Okay.
You've worked enough quarters.
And what about Part D, the drugs and prescription piece?
Now, the drug plan, in 2006, Medicare decided that everybody should have drug coverage. That's the Part D. And normally when you get your Part A and Part B, Medicare suggests that you get Part D as well. And it's optional. You don't have to take D. However, what I advise all of my clients is, even if you're taking one medication, get a Part D plan, and this is why. If you elect not to, and then all of a sudden down the road 3 or 4 years you become more ill and you need to have more medications and coverage, you turn that Part D on, Medicare will assess a late enrollment penalty.
Is there a premium for Part D?
There's a premium for Part D. I think the premium this year is $18.20, if I recall. You can get some coverage for Part D through other avenues. You can do a standalone prescription drug plan, which would have a monthly premium of around $18.20. You can get your Part D coverage through a Medicare Advantage plan, which often is built into the policy, and some premiums for Advantage plans are no premium at all. They're zero. So you can get your drug coverage in a lot of different ways, and I always recommend folks do. Don't risk it, because it's not a huge penalty, but it could add up. It's about 43 cents a month for every month you don't have it.
Wow. You mentioned that Medicare Advantage. Is that a third-party provider, or is that a brand name, or what? Talk a little bit about that.
A Medicare Advantage is a term that's broadly used. It is a third party. It's health insurance offered by private insurance companies. So it works with Medicare, but it's not part of Medicare. Medicare itself will pay 80% of most services, leaving that 20% exposure. Medicare also has deductibles, hospitalization deductibles, oxygen deductibles that need to be met. And by adding a Advantage plan or a supplement plan to your original Medicare will help protect folks from that 20%.
So it covers the 20% that's not covered in the core Medicare program. Do I have it right?
You do. It covers the 20%, but not completely. With Medicare Advantage plans, you would still have copays, but they would be quite a bit less than what a 20% copay would be.
All right.
I know we got a lot to cover.
No, there's some nuances to this, but actually you've explained it pretty clearly. Even I understand. All right, so most of the 20% that's left uncovered by Medicare will be picked up by the Advantage, wherever you get the Advantage program.
Right. You can't. You definitely want to add some kind of extra insurance once you turn your Medicare on. Okay.
So, Kathi, I wanted to just make sure we understand, when I say Medicare Advantage in quotes, what exactly does that mean? I understand it picks up some of that 20% that's not covered under the core Medicare, but just if you could put a finer point on that, that'd be great.
You bet, you bet. So when you say Medicare Advantage is the name that Medicare assigns this particular type of insurance policy or coverage.
Okay.
You'll see other healthcare companies call it different things. Some call it AmeriAdvantage. Some call it, they have all their different names, but Medicare sees these policies as Medicare Advantage plans.
Okay.
Medicare Advantage plan is just one way of getting supplemental coverage.
Okay.
Medicare does not like people to say Medicare Advantage plans or supplement plans.
Oh.
Medicare Advantage plans are just that, Medicare Advantage, because I'll tell you why. There are Medicare supplement plans, policies called supplement plans. So I can't say if I sit down with an Advantage plan, this is a supplement plan, because it's not truly. Advantage plans are very different from supplement plans.
All right. Is a supplement plan relatively more comprehensive?
Yes, it is. It can be. Think of supplement plans this way. You're going to pay a monthly premium to have little or no copay. So pay now to pay nothing later. With Advantage plans, you could pay very little monthly, but have copays down the road. So pay something now to pay something later.
I get it. It'll be a smaller amount monthly, but a larger copay. And with the supplemental plan, you'll pay a higher premium monthly, but you'll have no need to cover the copay.
Correct.
It's accommodated. Okay.
Exactly.
That's good.
And with supplement plans, there are no networks. Supplement plans, you can go to any physician that takes Medicare. Often with Advantage plans, they are HMOs, and that means you have to work within the doctor network, or they're PPOs, which gives you a little bit broader network, but the premium could be and copays could be a little higher.
Okay. You had mentioned offline, Kathi, that there's some stuff to know about Part B that is important.
Yes, it is. When you turn on your Medicare and you don't elect your Part B right away for whatever reason, let's say you don't select your Part B because you don't want to pay the premium. This means that you're no longer working, you no longer have health insurance through your employer, you are just having your Medicare and you elect not to get your Part B. This is a bit unwise because there is a 10% late enrollment penalty on Part B premium. That could be substantial. If you're employed and you have employer insurance and you elect not to get B, that employer insurance is credible coverage. That's going to cover you. So when you turn your Part B on, you won't have that late enrollment penalty.
Okay.
If you don't have that in place, you're going to be exposed to that penalty.
So you need that doctor's portion, the Part B portion in place, whether it's from your employer. You just need to have continuity from your employment plan into your Medicare Part B plan. Otherwise, you will be subject to that penalty. Is that a penalty that's like the premium, or is it a one-time fee?
No, that is a monthly premium.
Wow.
You will be paying that from now until forever. Yeah.
What kind of numbers are we talking about with that premium?
Well, it depends on what your Social Security income is.
Oh, I see.
So it's going to,
because it's deducted from it.
Right.
So they use that as a basis. Okay, great, thanks. This is really good. I'm learning a ton from you, Kathi Rieger. So where should we go next? What's the next best place to go for our listeners with the time we have left together?
Well, I just want to mention quickly the window to enroll. Let's say your birthday is February 2nd.
Yep.
And you're turning 65. So you have a 7-month window to get your Medicare Advantage plan. So you have 3 months before your birthday month, a month of your birthday month, and then 3 months after. So you have a 7-month window. So you've got some time, and what I advise most of my clients to do is we meet a good couple of months prior to that birthday month so we can shop plans together, so we can talk about what their needs are, what their plans are. So we pick the right plan, and everything starts the month of their birthday, because Medicare starts everything the first of the month.
Okay.
So on average, people's Medicare starts the first of their birthday month.
Okay, that's a very important thing to know. So you want to be planning. You want to be planning and ramping into this, working with someone like you that can help guide them through this process of shopping and understanding where to get what. And
a lot of moving parts. And I want to share, not to pat my own back, toot my own horn, but I want to share the value of working with a local agent because they know the nuances of the market. They know the doctor networks. They're familiar with the local plans. And then if something hiccups or you're not sure of, can I do this within this network? Can I travel with this plan? You can call and talk to your local agent. It keeps it very personal. And I think everybody benefits from that. Everybody has a better experience from that.
Excellent. All right, great. Well, we've got a lot packed in. There's a lot to digest. So thank you so much for this segment and for being with us on the program, Kathi. Really appreciate it. Kathi Rieger, she's an expert in all things Medicare. So Social Security and Medicare are clearly not the same thing. Then we'll leave it there, right?
We'll leave it there. Thanks, David.
We'll do it again. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to Money Talk, brought to you by the Spectrum Financial Group, serving individual investors and retirees. Find out more at sfgnm.com. Investing in securities involves risk of loss to both profit and initial investment. No investment process is free of risk, and no strategy can guarantee returns. Discuss with an investment professional the unique risk-return profile of an investment strategy. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Registration with the SEC or a state licensing agency does not imply a certain level of skill or training.